Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy Dave Sam going through another review of some EDC gear. Today we are talking about something extremely special to me. It is probably my favorite piece of gear from 2025. I wore this more than just about anything, wore or carried this more than just about anything, other than probably my phone, and that is the Tudor Pelagos FXD GMT. And if that sounds like a lot of letters, it is. Just to start, before we get into the review, I want to just kind of tell people why I have this as the first item. Like I said, it is my favorite item of 2025. It's also something that means quite a lot to me. I passed a large personal milestone through work this past year at the beginning of the year, and I bought this as kind of a reward to myself. Fantastic watch if you're a watch person, and I'm going to get into all the reasons why right now. Now, if you're unfamiliar with watches, Tudor is like the Rolex sister brand, if you will. Started by the same guy. Started Rolex, started Tudor a few years later, wanted to have a more everyday alternative or everyman alternative to the luxury brand that Rolex was. The Pelagos specifically, before we get into the FXD and the GMT, the Pelagos is meant to be their titanium line of divers, which is basically just like a lighter material for a watch. If you, again, are into watches, you know most of them come in either stainless steel or some precious metal, both of which are fairly heavy. Titanium is a really nice light alternative. And the FXD stands for fixed lug. So basically, instead of having two lugs that you can kind of pop out and then change the bracelet on, this has two fixed lugs, very secure. They are built into the titanium frame here, right? So they're non-removable. So it just stands for fixed lugs. And then GMT is indicative of this extra hand here, the orange hand on this particular watch, which functionally means, well, actually has two things. One, the orange hand here, or this fourth hand on the dial, as well as a 24-hour bezel. So instead of that 60-minute diver bezel, it has that 24-hour bezel. So if you're wondering what all of those letters mean, fixed lugs for FXD, GMT allows you to track multiple time zones. Now, this watch in particular was designed in collaboration with Marine Nationale, the French military, or the French Navy. And you can see their logo there on the strap, as well as if you take the strap off, you can see that there is some engravings on the back. Marine Nationale 24, so indicative of the year that it was made or purchased. I imagine that in 25 they will have MN25, and then in 26 MN26, as long as they keep making these watches. But it has that engraving for Marine Nationale. This is for like the French Navy's Air Force, which is pretty cool. So, all right, now let's talk about the actual watch itself and some of my favorite things or some of the specifications of it. It is a diver, so it can go up to 200 meters. It has that water resistance or that waterproofing. That's part of the METAS certification, so it is METAS certified as well, which basically means has a few different criteria that it meets. One of which is that waterproofness or meets the standard that's on there. One of which is for magnetism. One of which is for how well it keeps time. You know, there's a handful of items for the METAS certification. For the timekeeping or the precision, it keeps between 0 and +5 seconds per day, which is pretty standard for a watch to have some sort of variation, or a mechanical watch to have some sort of variation. So again, if you're not super familiar with watches, they're all going to have some sort of variation. Things like Casios, you might see things like 15 or 20-second variations. Not all, I'm just saying, right? Like the less expensive the watch, oftentimes the less accurate it's going to be. Minus digital watches, of course, when we're talking about mechanical watches. So that's something you can typically look for. A lot of these Swiss watches have some sort of certification as well. So there is COSC certification. It's a more common one. I believe it's plus or minus 4 to 6 seconds, like 4 seconds slow to 6 seconds fast, if I remember correctly. And then there's Metos, which is a little bit tighter, like I mentioned, 0 to 5. So these certifications are helpful in understanding how precise, how accurate the watch is going to be. But ultimately, these are not like the main decisions in making a watch or buying a watch necessarily, right? You want it because it matches your style, matches your wardrobe. It's something that you're going to put on your wrist and wear. The one thing I would say about any watch is if you're going to buy it just to put in a case, it's probably not worth the buy. This one is 42 millimeters with the titanium grade metal or the titanium finish here. It's titanium grade 2, I believe, which basically just means it has like a different hardness to it than the titanium 5 that's used. So slightly different like scratch resistance and hardness. And this bezel that I mentioned here is bi-directional. So it can go in either direction. So that's so that when you are changing time zones and you actually want to track a third time zone, you can track it in either direction. One nice thing about it is also has a nice date view to it. And then functionally, one of my favorite things about it is that it is super thin. So just about 12.8 millimeters thin. And I think the band adds about another millimeter. So roughly 13 millimeters all in, or 13.5 millimeters all in, which is beautiful. Sits really, really nicely on the wrist. It is one of my favorite things, again, to wear. I have pretty small wrists, and even at 42 millimeters, doesn't look too crazy on me. It's probably about the biggest a watch any person is going to wear. There's obviously much bigger watches. Some people really love those big watches and they'll wear them a lot. I think the average person's not going to go above the 42 mil, but that's like a personal opinion. So what do I love about this thing? As a gear guy, this thing is a tool, first and foremost. It is the ultimate utility watch or the ultimate tool watch. Having 2 extra time zones, right? So the GMT hand that tracks the home time. When you are in another place, another country, another time zone, whatever, what you're switching is the local time hand here. So you just pop this out once and you can just rotate just the local time by the hour, which is actually pretty nice. It's made to be able to do this on the fly. So you pop that out once, and then as you can see, it just pops just the hour hand. Then on top of that, you can also track a third time zone. So because I'm home, I don't need to do too much. But so if I want to track California time, for example, I just need to pop this back 2 hours. And then I can functionally see that, of course, it is about 2:10 in California right now. I also love the titanium finish. Between the titanium and the strap, this thing is incredibly light overall. So when you're wearing a watch, especially a steel or precious metal watch, oftentimes, especially at 42 mil or with a bracelet on it, you're looking at a fairly heavy piece on your wrist. And those pieces get noticed overall, right, on your wrist throughout the day. Now, it's not like you're carrying a ton of weight or anything. It's not going to like break your arm or anything. But by the end of the day, when you take it off, you do feel like lighter. This does not have that problem at all. You can wear this all day, all night, and not really even notice it. You could wear it in the shower. You could do whatever you want with it. This thing is, again, the ultimate tool. The titanium finish means that I don't have to take like wildly good care of it, if you will, right? I don't have to baby it anywhere that I am. I know that I can get dings and nicks on it, or rub up against a wall or something, and not have to worry about whether or not the watch is going to be in rougher condition. It's going to stay in great condition because of those finishes. Like I mentioned, the Metos certification is fantastic. I value precision overall, and I think Metos is about as tight as you can get precision-wise. I think Rolex advertises their superlative chronometer, which is a tighter fit of -2 to +2, which is also really, really nice. But I don't like my watch having the potential to be slow. I'd rather it be a little bit fast, meaning I'll be early to things instead of late potentially. And then last but not least, of course, like they crushed the colorway here, just the overall way that this thing looks, just the choices that they made, right? Between the green band, titanium finish, black bezel, black insert on the dial here, and then this kind of like off-white eggshell kind of coloring for the hands, and then finally that orange finish on the GMT hand. I just love it. I think that this thing looks fantastic the way that it came out of the box. Now, a couple of cons just to get it out there. First off, if I'm being honest, the strap is just really flimsy. It's just super thin. It doesn't feel like it's going to last a really long time. I'm already getting a tiny bit of fraying here in the area just from wearing it this year, that I wear it pretty much all the time. It's just like the size of my wrist at this point. And it's not the best strap in the world. Now, again, it is fairly comfortable, so it's nice in that sense. That's kind of the upside of it. Overall, it's probably not going to last just like forever with this watch, the way like a metal bracelet might last a really, really, really long time. Mine runs about 4 seconds fast. Doesn't bother me that much. If it bothers you, you might have an issue where you can call Tudor and send it to them, or call any watch brand, to be honest. Most of them, especially if you buy from the company, will have some sort of multi-year warranty with them, where if you do have accuracy issues, you can of course send it to them and they will at least take a look at it. Now, when you send it to them, there's no guarantee when you'll get it back, so just be warned. And then lastly, the fixed lugs. Though I do love them from a security perspective, functionally, this means that I can never use a bracelet, and I am limited overall, not even like leather bands or anything, right? You're limited overall to these NATO straps or these single strap pass-through straps for any time you want to wear this watch. So it leaves the watch to be a little more casual, in my opinion, which is fine. I love wearing a casual watch. I mean, obviously I'm dressed casually 95% of the time, so it's no problem. That's part of why I was able to wear it so frequently. But functionally, sometimes there are sport watches that you can dress up and dress down, that you can add a bracelet to, that you can add a NATO to, that give you a little more versatility. And I'll probably bring 1 or 2 of those out in the future, just to show a little bit of a comparison as we're thinking through some of my favorite timepieces. All right, so what's the verdict? What do I think? This is my favorite thing of 2025. I cannot reiterate that enough. I think it was almost perfectly made. I mean, there are very few changes that I would make. I would maybe try and make it thinner. I'd maybe make a smaller brother or sister or whatever of it to make it maybe a 40 mil. But overall, I just love this thing, right? Overall, though, the soul of this watch, like the character of this watch, is so obvious when you're wearing it, right? It's got this kind of aura to it that I just love. My eyes are constantly going to it when it's on my wrist. So who's it for? It's for that like person who really doesn't want to baby their watch, who's looking for a tool more than a fashion statement, and who functionally wants something that is really, really dependable, no matter the situation you find yourself in. Maybe you're a prepper or something and you just want like the most dependable timepiece that like is gonna last 10 years when satellites go out and you're in a bunker or something. This is the watch I would buy, especially in that situation. But also if you were just somebody who likes walking around town with a nice watch on your wrist, not having to worry about it too much, as something that is a nice fashion piece, but also more than anything, like a fantastic tool. Let me know what you think of the Tudor Pelagos FXD GMT in the comments down below. And while you're down there, don't forget to maybe drop a like, subscribe, get notified for new videos from the channel. Like I mentioned, I am going to be being a lot more consistent in 2026. So don't forget to subscribe to the videos so that you can see all the products, all the tech that I'll be bringing out. And let me know what you think of the Tudor Pelagos. I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.